Come on in and welcome to Tech Money Diaries. And today we're going to actually be talking about interviewing in Las Vegas, shopping, etc., etc., etc. So, while you are waiting on me to get started, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We're actually growing a little bit, 38 subscribers, looking for more. But I want to catch you all up on another episode. And this is actually a live episode, which I've not really done live episodes on the Hidden in Plain Sight series. But today you're getting one because I have a lot of stuff to talk about. And it is the topic is going to be the topic is actually going to be the shopping and interviewing. So I want to go ahead and get started. Without further ado, I'm just going to start from yesterday. Today is Juneteenth, by the way. Juneteenth is, you guys know what Juneteenth is, right? You don't know what Juneteenth is? If you don't know what Juneteenth is, let's just talk about that for a second. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Juneteenth, hold on one moment. All right, and we're going to talk about Juneteenth for a moment. So, with Juneteenth being today and me actually deciding to do this episode, um, it's a little bit symbolic because of what this date actually stands for. So, if you know what the date stands for, put it in the comments. Go ahead and put it in the comments if you are watching our channel. So, Juneteenth. So, the significance of Juneteenth is what everyone should actually know. It is it stands pretty much for freedom. So when freedom is freedom for enslaved black people. So black people were actually freed by an executive decree. So that's why we celebrate Juneteenth. And on the day of June 19th of 1865 is when about 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. And this announcement was made then. So the Army actually announced that more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state were freed by executive decree. And that day, which is called Juneteenth today, is what that actually stands for. So I'm not going to go into much more detail, but it's pretty much a second Independence Day for this country. So Juneteenth is actually a mark of independence for African American people. For those that don't know, I am African American. And this is history because Black people were enslaved in this country. Most people don't understand the history behind Juneteenth. Most people don't understand why we celebrate Juneteenth. And most people don't even understand the history of just being Black in America, period. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and make this particular episode a pretty much dedicated to Juneteenth, some of the things that African American people have to deal with in society, whether it is on a job, whether it is in an interview, whether it is out grocery shopping, wherever. So this video for me is I'm going to catch you up on some of the things that I've been experiencing starting from yesterday, probably all the way back to May. And I'm going to name names specifically because these are real, true experiences. Not only are they real, true experiences, I have documented proof of these experiences. So anything that I say is going to be facts, not fiction, and it's not alleged. Now, if anything is alleged, I will mention allegedly when I'm stating it. So, just starting from yesterday, and then as I'm actually giving this overview, I get a notification that somebody is trying to actually, like a suspicious login to my account for my YouTube channel. But hey, the show must go on. Anyways, so as you all know, I'm a content creator, I'm a technology professional, I'm a small business owner, and I do a lot of things myself. Even though people may not believe it because I'm a Black girl that is able to do these types of things, it's me. Like, I don't know how else to tell y'all. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn. I'm just giving you the facts. It is me that created this channel. It's me that create the software applications that I create. It's me that comes up along with the assistance of AI that brainstorms the ideas that I have. I create content because it is very interesting for me to do. It also gives me something to like channel my creativity, and it also allows me to kind of stay up to date with technology. It allows me to not like be out of the loop with what's going on because I'm since I'm working for myself and I do have relationships that I have as well that are not business like contractor relationships, should I say. And I want to sincerely say that this out loud so everybody knows. Anything that I say on this channel has nothing to do with an employer that I'm currently working with. That I what I will say about that is I don't have a reason to be saying anything about a current employer because I don't have anything to say. Period. Let's just get that out of the way first and foremost. Secondly, I have a book coming out that is called Wisdom Earned, Not Taught. So if you have been following me, I have been promoting this book to come out towards the end of the month, but you can pre-order it on Kindle. But it's called Wisdom Earned, Not Taught: Finding Growth, Resilience, and Purpose Through Life's Challenges. And then you can actually see the information on the ticker. It's available now on Kindle for pre-order, and it's also available on paperback at the end of the month. So you should be able to get the book at the end of the month as soon as it's released. So if you want to get insights on some of the things that I've actually experienced, like when I say experienced, this is in a sense of what I've experienced and what I've learned over the years in these experiences. So if you want to go ahead and pre-order, you are welcome to do a pre-order. If you want to wait until it releases at the end of the month, I think you will actually learn something. For the most part, this book is something that any professional can actually read, and if like they're having some type of question with as it relates to whatever they're going through. This is actually, I believe, my seventh book. So I have several different books on Amazon. Some of them are books, some of them are journals. One, two, three, six, seven. Yeah, it's total seven. Two of the seven are journals. But you can actually go on Amazon and see the books that I have. The thing about wisdom earned not taught for me is it goes over why success is rarely a straight line, how failure can be feedback instead of defeat, the life skills that matter most but rarely taught, and why adaptability is essential in a changing world, how confidence grows through action and experience, and the most like some of the important things that I go over in each chapter is the wisdom that you learn through everything that I'm going through in each chapter. We even go into how grief, loss, life challenges can become sources of wisdom. So, whether you're navigating a career transition, personal setback, unexpected change, or simply seeking greater purpose, the book offers encouragement, reflection, and practical guidance for the journey ahead. So, this is something that wisdom is something that I say earned, as in you're experiencing it. It's not anything anybody is teaching you at the moment. This is the things that I've learned over the years through experience. So, because some lessons can't be taught, some lessons can, of course, but most of the things that I've learned over the years, nobody's taught me. I just experienced those and learned from it. So, the most meaningful things are meaningful lessons are the ones that you actually earn, meaning that you learn on the spot. So if you're looking for a book where you can learn more life lessons, some that definitely weren't taught in the school, definitely were not taught in the degree, because we do spend years pursuing education, of which myself I have a MBA, and I'm currently enrolled in a doctorate program to obtain a doctorate. And just because I'm earning these credentials, some of the things that I've experienced over my career will never amount to the wisdom that I actually learned going through these situations. The reason that I wrote this book in conjunction with AI is so you don't have to experience some of the things that I've done. And if you've experienced those things, when I say done, I meant went through, so that you don't have to experience the things that I've gone through without having someone to show you or teach you what I learned from those situations. So we spend years pursuing education, earning credentials, building careers, chasing success. Yet many of the lessons that shape us they don't come from a degree that you earn. They don't come from any certification credentials that you got. Most are built on the job through situations that you had no idea that you would be experiencing from the start. So, if you're looking for something that you will gain some type of wisdom from, which anything that I read, I have to be gaining some type of wisdom from so I can understand the things that I never knew or weren't ever taught. So this book is like one of those things. So if you go on Amazon, you'll see the pre-order for Kindle that's available now, but just wait until the end of the month for June so you can get your copy. So, with that being out of the way, the next thing I want to start and talk about, I'm just going to go ahead and just tell you just what my experience was. So, I'm going to start from yesterday. So, yesterday, I had a interview with this vocational technical company out here. Mind you, it was several different people in the actual interview process for one position. Now, keep that in mind when I'm telling you this story. I'm going to try to see if I can count how many people were in that interview. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. It was around, I want to say 8 people, maybe, give or take. And with those 8 people, someone in that organization from their financial department did the group interview. By the way, um, this particular role, it piqued my interest because of what the role entailed. Now, am I desperate for a position? Absolutely not. Did I want to go to experience whatever it is that I needed to learn in that situation? Absolutely. And when I tell you this story, you're going to find out, like, these are the type of things that I learn when I'm inside of a situation. And these are the type of things that you're going to pick up on in my book, Wisdom Earned, Not Talk, or Taught, should I say. Wisdom Earned, Not Taught. Here's the thing. So, my name is Ashley, right? Everybody knows me, Ashley, on in the internet, on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook, Instagram, uh, threads. I'm not really. I'm on TikTok, but I don't really post on it. I haven't been posting on it lately. However, whatever. My name is Ashley. So the first thing that stood out to me in this interview process, some girl shows up to the interview, mind you, had the same name as me. So let's start there. Shows up to the interview, same first name. Shows up to the interview. So the lady that scheduled the interview comes out. I guess she's like checking to see who came and whatever, blah, 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 whatever she was doing, her job, basically. So this girl, whoever this girl is, mind you, I don't know the girl. Mind you, let's start there. Okay. Secondly, come to find out, I'm listening to the conversation. First, the girl was sitting by me. Let's start there. Then she screamed across the room to holler at some people that came in with a baby so they could sit over there where I was at, that she moved from by me or whatever. So when she did that, I'm like, okay, strange, whatever, because that it was 2 seats on the side that they were on that she could have sat on there, whatever. Now fast forward back to the lady that came out to check to see who I guess was there for the event, the hiring event. Tell me why this girl showed up. Tell me why the lady didn't confirm her to show up. Mind you, let me just even go back a little bit further. Tell me why when we came in, we did not sign in. The person at the desk signed in for us. Let's start there. She signed our name or whatever. We sat down, we waited till it was time to go into the interview process. Back to the lady that was checking people in. Why, whoever this girl was, she comes in without a confirmed interview and gets in the interview process. Keep that in mind as you're listening to this story. So, as the girl, she's in the interview process, mind you. Tell me why whoever this girl was has to be somebody that's stalking me or doing some shit that's illegal. Mind my French. I don't mean to curse, but this is Tech Money Diaries. We talk about real tech, real money, and real life. She in the interview discussing legal shit that she shouldn't even be discussing in the interview process. Mind you, let's start there. So everybody that's listening and following me and everything else, this lady in the interview process discussing stuff that she's not supposed to be discussing in the form of answering interview questions. This is why I be telling you guys to pay attention to what goes on around you. You will learn everything that you need to know. Everything. And I have this channel specifically to document things that I've experienced in tech, in real life, and even on jobs that actually produce income, whether it's a contract or whatever. She in the freaking interview exposing stuff in the form of an interview. Mind you, she wasn't even confirmed to be there. Let's start there. None of us checked in with IDs or nothing. Let's start there as well. These companies have no idea the type of liability that they're putting themselves in creating situations like this for consumers. You're not going to tell me that whoever this person was, that she didn't know me and but I didn't know her. Put it like that. So whoever this person is, this video is dedicated to the person that came in that interview process that's stalking me. This also is dedicated to the people that's continuously stalking me for whatever reason that they don't have one to do. Like y'all doing the absolute most. Let's start there. Fast forward, she answered a question talking about she's foster parents for a freaking cat that she's most proud of. I'm like, okay, uh, these people have lost their mind. The crazy part about it is these situations happen inside of an organization. You can't tell me that these organizations ain't gonna be liable for anything that happens or transpires out of the situation. Because you can bet your bottom dollar that they're gonna be held accountable. Period. Let's start there. I mean, guys, I can't make this stuff up if I wanted to. I'm not even that type of person. The only thing that I've actually created that's not true is a fictional series that I got on my channel that is called We Are Work Incorporated. And it's based on a creative series that I'm trying to put on a producer hat and create a series for just people that are content creators, people that's in the tech industry, and things of that nature. Other than that series, if I tell you something, you can bet money on it. Period. And you can ask me for the receipts too, because I got that too. These people are crazy. When I tell you people are crazy, they are. And most people look at me like I'm doing something wrong. 9 times out of 10, I'm minding the business that pays me. 10 times out of 10, these people following me everywhere that I go. Speaking of that, I'm in the grocery store the same day, early that morning, shopping. Now, mind you, it's proper protocol for somebody to be in a grocery store. Um, I guess, quote unquote, paying attention to what you do. It's proper protocol because that's a part of their jobs. But what's not proper protocol is this: when you scan all your groceries and checked out with the person at the end of the door and everything's good, and you look up after you putting groceries in your car, and somebody's out coming out to the has came out from the store or whatever that's paying attention to what it is that you're doing. Now, mind you, Why are these people following me all over the place? Why are these people popping up in interviews where I'm at? You tell me. Again, this is Tech Money Diaries, where we talk about real tech, real money, real life. Now, one thing I will say is this: I am a black female. And as a black female, you better be telling somebody what you're dealing with, period. Like, if you don't tell anybody, these people can railroad your ass. And when I tell you, this channel is specifically made for me to document anything that I'm dealing with, and this ain't alleged. Sometimes I don't get to document everything that I'm dealing with because I'm like, it's just not the right time for me to put the stuff out. But at some point in time, it's coming out. Whether I'm creating the content on a certain day or whatever, I'm a content creator. Everything is content, period. So my thought process on this situation is okay. Now you showing up the interview processes with me. Now I'm at the grocery store and you coming out the grocery store for what? This is what I talk about when you black in America. This is what I'm talking about. Not and also on top of that, these things are being done through well-known organizations. You can't tell me that these people are not going to be held liable if anything ever happens. Because when I tell you, not only am do I have the information that I'm telling you, I'm not afraid to tell the information. So the point blank or whatever it is that these people think they're doing, they kind of wasting their time, to be quite honest with you. And if they being paid to do it, they also wasted their time on that too. These people are doing all this stuff because I have a lot of information to divulge. And what they're doing is they're making me divulge more information than I even planned on divulging. That's what they're making me do. And again, the information that I have are facts. I don't play around with stuff like that. I have no reason to do that. I've never played around with anything. Have I made a mistake on something? Absolutely. But I'm not sitting here creating fucking fictional content, with the exception of my series that I'm trying to produce. Like, I don't have time for that. That's not the person that I am. I ain't been that person, and I ain't finna start today. So you guys have a live session about hidden in plain sight, surviving internet crimes, and this time we're talking about interviewing and shopping. Okay, so whatever. I even in this interview process, the weird part to me, this is the weirdest part to me. I reached out to the lady and I was like, "Ma'am, my application says it's incomplete. So if my application is incomplete and you still inviting me to an interview, you had no desire or no great intent based on this conversation in the first place. You had no intent. So now you done got your company liable for something if anything ever happens because you decided to bring somebody into the interview process that you didn't have no plans on hiring, that you probably being aiding and abetting somebody that you probably gonna be in trouble if anything ever happens. And this ain't alleged. Fast backwards to okay, so this was yesterday. Let's go back to what interview process I was in. So this is an interview process that I was in with a well-known health organization. So with the well-known health organization, I went through this process or whatever. Mind you, at the end of the process, I get a notification saying that due to some type of business decision or whatever, the position is no longer available. However, The position was reposted the next day. Normal, right? Of course. Nothing's wrong with that. Now, here's the gag. So I want to say either the day of or the next day, I get a job offer from, I'm just gonna say their name because I don't work there. FYI, Telus International. So these folks contact me to be on a project for Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is the project that they, I guess, was hiring for or whatever. First and foremost, let me just start here. I will entertain an idea. I will entertain anything. But I'm not the type of person that's going to accept anything. I'm going to hear you out, whatever, if I feel like hearing you out for the day. But at the end of the day, I have to think logically. I just finished the interview process, a whole interview process. These folks sends me a job offer through a third party from for a well-known financial institution. Mind you, that I just heard that Robinhood laid off 10% of their force this week. So that's another thing. Like, you have to stay up to date on technology. I have a news like media website that's also called Tech Money. It's actually Tech Money Digest, but it's based off of the Tech Money Diaries brand. And on that actual media website, I talk about the latest stories that's in technology, from tech and AI, from cybersecurity, from jobs and things like that that's open and out in the just in the news. That's what I talk about. I am not a journalist. I'm following the story. That's it. Now, if you don't give me any content, there is no content. But if you like amplify the situation or make the situation more than what it is, you asking me to say something. So what I'm going to do is, everything is content for me anyway. If I don't have an idea about content and you give me something that I need to make content, that's what I'm going to do. Everything that I'm talking about is covered under the section 107. And you know what that is? I can tell you what section 107 is too. So let's start there. Okay. So section 107, if you don't know what that is for fair use. You're allowed to use certain things for limited use without permission for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, research. It's things that you can use for content. But if you don't give me content, I can't create no content. But you giving me stuff to create content about without me even asking. And on top of that, you guys can check my LinkedIn for anything that you want to check it for, because I speak about some of the stuff that I'm dealing with on my LinkedIn. I might not post it anywhere else, but it's definitely on LinkedIn. And then you can come to Take Money Diaries if you want to hear other stories that I may not, um, if that may not be like literally featured on LinkedIn, but maybe like the whole story is on my Take Money Diaries. But I deal with a lot of stuff that I don't really even say anything about. But I have this channel, Tech Money Diaries, so that I can speak about whatever it is that I need to talk about. And some people are like, well, be quiet, do the. Let me just explain something to you guys. I was quiet for a long time, and a lot of the stuff that I be talking about just happening behind the scenes while I'm quiet, happening while I'm quiet. So being quiet, somebody can tell you that, and that is not true. And I'm a living witness to that. It's not true. Because a lot of times I'm quiet, I'm in my own zone, not focusing on whatever they focusing on towards me. And something to pop off that literally I haven't been thinking about at all. It'll just pop off. And you will see a random post from me about something that I'm dealing with that, mind you, what I wasn't even thinking about to begin with. That's first and foremost. You can go to my LinkedIn and see whatever it is that I'm talking about on that LinkedIn page. Like, and for the people that think I'm not who I say I am, I've been on LinkedIn for a very long time. I have 4,000 followers, 4,000 plus, 4,400 plus followers on LinkedIn. I have a newsletter subscription that has about 1,300 plus people that subscribe to it. I'm trying to grow my Tech Money Diaries page. I guess I still have a lot of views. I think I have 4,000 views on it, but I'm still trying to grow this page, whatever. But I'm the type of person, I have no reason to make up stuff. It's not in my nature. Um, if I'm producing a series, that's different because I'm trying something new to produce it or whatever. But I'm a very creative person when it comes to the things that I'm interested in and the things that I do. I'm I use my creativity, I channel my creativity through the projects that I work on. I know I'm not your typical black girl, but that's what I do. And that's just who I am. And I've educated myself over the years. I've learned from a lot of the experiences that I've had, and like I am who I am. You can't take away a person's how they have developed over the years. This is who I am, and a lot of the things about me is based on like how I grew up and how I was raised. So I'm in the on the West Coast, but I'm a Southern girl. Like I'm from the South. You may not understand me because that is where I was born and raised. West Coast is totally different from being raised in the South. Let's start there. It was very much so a culture shock when I moved out here. Let me just finish up the story with the United. Yeah, I'm saying their name, United Health Group. So after they ended the process, randomly I get a notification to reapply for the role. Now, don't forget about the fact that I got this job offer from TELUS International that they was very interested in my candidacy on the Robin Hood project, finances, financial frauds. So I'm going to say I'm not talking about the company Robin Hood itself because they probably don't even know anything about this. I would just say this. But it's real ironic that they sending me a random job after I the almost the when I tell you that it was so eerie. I'm like, this position is, but I'm getting an offer for this position. Okay, what is going on here? So okay, I entertained the person for a little bit, right? Then I think I said I'm not interested, and then bowed out. Mind you, this person sends me another email about something else after I declined the actual role. So I emailed their HR team and told them to stop sending me job offers. I don't want to work there. Like, stop sending me these job offers. And the reason that I call them a job offer is it's the type of job that if you pass the interview process, you got the job. Period. So I'm not signing up for nothing in no that I already am leery of, that I just went through a whole interview process, and the date that I went through the interview process it ended. I'm getting invited to a job offer from a well-known organization on a financial team. Like follow the money. I don't know about y'all, but this is Tech Money Diaries. We talk about real tech, real money, and real life. Like, follow the money. If you want to know what is going on, follow the money. That's all you have to do. These people ain't doing this stuff for no reason. Follow the money. So after I declined it, the guy reached back out to me. I'm like, who? First of all, he had some long name. The name didn't match the email that it came from. Let's start there. I'm like, who the heck is this person? But the email is signed by this person's name. Okay, could be that he goes by two other separate names and his email is signed something different. They never once matched. Red flag right there. Never matched. I'm like, who is this? So when the guy reaches back to me from HR, he was like, well, he gonna take me off of the list or whatever. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, he never called anyway. So how you want somebody for a job, but you not even calling them? Let's start there. This is the kind of stuff that I be telling you that people do and think you don't understand or pick up on whatever is happening here. Clearly something's not happening that's right. So how you telling me that you calling me but you never call, and all of a sudden you emailing me days later trying to get me to contact you back again for something you never called for? Like what? Like what is happening here? Okay, whatever. The guy tells me he's off of the I'm off of the list. Whatever. Now I logged into the account initially to see what the status said about the position. The status said not selected initially. So I logged back into it and it just says, I want to say it said applied, something like that. Don't quote me. But I this is what I'm talking about. These people, it's not just one person. Let's just start there. In order for you to have something work out the way that these people are working it out, it has to be a collective group of people that's doing this stuff, not just one person. It if it was one person, it would be different. But when you have a collective group of people that's working together, that's a crime all day long. Hence this episode, hidden in plain sight, surviving internet crimes. And a lot of this stuff starts on the internet. The reason that it starts on the internet is that it starts on the internet because usually that's where it starts. You apply for a job through the internet. You get invited through to an interview through the internet. And then here's another tactic that people do as well that I've noticed in two well-known interview processes for well-known organizations. They'll, in order for them not to look guilty about what it is that they're doing, they'll throw a black person in the process some kind of way to get you to show up or whatever. They'll throw a black person in the process with them to get the whatever the situation is, whatever. They'll throw a black person, let me say that 3 times. They will throw a black person in the process to try to get the blame off of them. I've encountered that in two well-known interview processes. But I'm gonna just be straight up with you. Just because you throw somebody black in the mix, ain't gonna that's not gonna stop that the knowledgeable person from complaining. It really ain't. What's gonna stop them from complaining is if they just don't feel like complaining. If they want to complain, guess what? You're gonna have a complaint. So throwing a black person in the mix, I'm so sorry, but you probably wasting your time doing that. Cause yeah, game peeped. Um, so what else? So that's one experience. So when they reached out to me to apply again, I applied again. So this time, instead of it being a business need for the rejection of the application, this time the rejection of the application came by way of not having experience or something like that. Whatever. We're not going to even play them type of games because I know the type of experience that I have. But what we will say in this instance of what we learned We learned that when you're going on so far these two instances, we learned that whenever you're going through an interview process, people try to prey on you. And when I say pray, I don't mean Pray. I mean Prey. They will try to prey on you for whatever reason that they have that you are unaware of in the background. And when I say that, I say it with wisdom. Some of these things probably I'm thinking about it right now. I may or may not address it in my book. I'm gonna just say that because right now I have a book that's coming out in the end of the month called Wisdom Earned Not Taught. And in that book, you'll understand the stuff that I have learned over the years. You will understand what type of things that I've gone through. And in Wisdom Earned Not Taught, Finding Growth, Resilience, and Purpose Through Life Challenges, the book is already published and set to release at the end of the month. It's coming out regardless. And then it's available on pre-order by Kindle now, and then the paperback is at the end of June. All right, so whatever, reject it, don't care, whatever, move on. Because one thing about me is this: I never want to show up to an organization and be hired to be prey. And a lot of the experiences that you will learn about in my book, I'm telling you these stories because I don't work there. I don't work at these organizations, but this has been my experience. And the educational organization that I'm referring to is UEI. I want to say it's United because I want to make sure I put these names out because y'all can research and stuff if y'all want to, especially to the people that's stalking everything that I do. Let me see if this what's the name of this company? UEI College. I'm gonna just call them UEI College. I know the UEI stands for something, but yeah, I mean it's like stuff like that. I don't like a lot of these people put their don't even realize it, but put their job on the line to aid and abet somebody else. That's just what they do. Everybody knows all day long that that is a crime. If anything comes of anything, they gonna be called into question. I'm just telling you right there. Um, that on top of that, so that experience ended in that manner. I have other stuff that I deal with, you guys, but I'm only not addressing the issue because those people are trying to address the issue. Now, when you start playing in my face and like trying to gaslight me like I'm stupid or something, like I don't understand people. I'm okay. I obtained my MBA in 2023. Most people still will try to prey on you, thinking that you're not. That I guess they think that you're dumb. That's what I'm just gonna mark it down to. They think that you're dumb. They think that you're desperate, and they think that they're orchestrating things that they're orchestrating things that they have no history on and just participating in. And then, because you know how somebody tells a story, it's their side, it's your side, their side, and the truth. And then, whenever they're listening to these people to make these bold decisions that they be making, have no idea how this stuff is going to affect their careers. No idea. But they go along with it for the get along anyway. Like it's crazy to me. A lot of the stuff that you'll actually find in this book that I'm talking about, it is so to me. If I never experienced these things, just as myself and who I am, if I never experienced these things, some of the things I was like, this is not even possible. It's just not possible. But since I've experienced the things, that very much so happened. It's just crazy stuff like that. And then I don't know who Like, what's the criteria for people to try to prey on you? What is the criteria? Because sometimes these people be preying on the worst person to actually prey on. Like, how you gonna prey on the person that's gonna say something? That's crazy to me. Like, you asking yourself to see how much trouble you can get in by messing with this person because you preying on the person that's gonna say something. That's crazy to me. It's like insanity doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's crazy to me. And then the people that have no idea what they're getting themselves into, because I'm not talking about the people that's not aware of what's going on, because somebody will pull you in real quick and say, "Can you come help me with this?" You think you doing them a big favor or whatever. Just you just think you're doing them a favor, and they think greatly and highly of you. Whole time they adding you into a situation where they can possibly get in trouble from, and you have no idea that they've added you into this situation because you don't know the history, you don't know what's going on. You just added to the situation because you think you're doing your job or whatever. But that's how people operate in this time. So when I say you have to be careful on these jobs and interviews, you really need to be, because people will prey on you in a second. Okay, so with that instance, so no, I do not work for TELUS International, and I do not work for United Health Group. I did work for United Health Group in the past. I will say that. And I'm only saying names because these are facts. There's nothing fictional about what I'm saying. I can pull up the proof right now today. Okay, so next, what are we going to talk about? All right, so we pretty much covered the actual topics that I want to talk about, but I'm trying to see, was there any other interview processes that I want to discuss? I will say this. I was going through another interview process, and I could already tell that there was issues, like underlying issues on the team or whatever. But when I kind of picked up on it, I'm like, okay, this is not what I want to be. I don't have time for these. I mean, I can deal with conflict and stuff like that, but if you steady have issues that you're not addressing, then that's a problem in itself, because you could also cause more issues than it needs to be. So, a part of my growth and development and understanding some of the things or whatever that I've learned over the years, I write about a lot of my experiences on the job. I write about it because it is a teaching lesson for some people. Some people wouldn't know how to handle some of the stuff that I've gone through. They wouldn't even know how to handle it. I've been in situations where I've been hired in as prey. I will just say that. And it's been because I I understood what I was doing when I started applying for jobs or whatever, but I didn't understand the depths of what was going on internally at those jobs. So it's been a lot of situations, and I'm going to actually discuss them in the book. Um, the thing that I think is most crazy to me is this: you can't do something to somebody and then think that it's forever going to not, like, ever going to stay wherever you got to stay at or whatever. It's going to eventually come out, especially when we got ads popping up on the TV and ads popping up on your website, and like, it's crazy. You can't expect somebody to just not say anything when these things are happening in real life. You have to literally be insane or crazy to think that somebody that's dealing with that is just not gonna say anything. I've never been that person ever, like my entire life. But for some reason, people get think that they can, I guess, do whatever it is to me. They just think that for some reason, and then they eventually find out that I don't operate in that capacity. I've never operated in that capacity. So it's not like I'm flipping the script or changing or something. It's just you gotta be discerning in your spirit when you hiring people. So if you got a problem that you trying to work with internally on your team, you might be wanting to let the person know in some kind of way, and as an interview question, how would they handle a certain situation? Because just hiring people and have them show up on the job and it's worse than you actually expected is crazy to me. Because 9 times out of 10, you hiring somebody in, you know what's going on. You know that person is not inside your organization. The only thing they know is what happens in the headlines. So whenever you are hiring people in these interviews or whatever, I'm just gonna say this straight up. I'm not desperate for none of these jobs. I only apply for a networking opportunity to see to kind of get a feel. And to be quite honest with you, I have not had any in-person interviews in a very long time. This has been the first time. I'm trying to think back. I have the last this year I've had in-person interviews, but majority of my interviews have been virtual. So I haven't had to go inside of an organization to have an interview in a very long time. And the times that I have gone in, it's been crazy. Let me add to this United Health Group story. So with the United Health Group story, when I did go in, the security that was sitting at the front desk, he checked me in, black guy, whatever. He checked me in properly. So another security guard came in. I was giving them my ID or whatever. Tell me why the security guard was taking a copy of my ID or whatever. And this is not alleged. I'm sitting there watching him. Um, on his personal devices. I don't know if it's made. Let me correct that. I don't know if it was his work device or his personal device. So just think of the story that I'm telling you about these coincidences, and think about what could have allegedly been going on. Remember, I told you when it's alleged, I'm gonna tell you alleged. I'm gonna say allegedly. So if you take these stories and you put these stories together, what does that tell you? I'm gonna let you form your own opinion. I'm not gonna give you opinion of what is happening here. I'm just gonna let you form your own opinion. So what else? So talked about that. It's some other stuff that I've experienced this week, but I'm not going into that for the purposes of it was not even this week that I experienced. Was it this week? And this is I should have known that this was gonna be crazy. This interview that I had yesterday, when I walked into to get my hair done, and there was a celebrity in there right before me getting my hair done. I should have knew it was something crazy. But here's the thing: I always pick up on cues of what is going on around me. My discernment is let me just explain something about discernment for me. So one, I prayed for a discernment for an entire year. I didn't consume alcohol for an entire year because I wanted to increase my wisdom and discernment in situations. So when I tell you I did that, and when I tell you my level of discernment, I prayed for it, and my level of discernment is top tier. If I say something and I see something and it aligns, 9 times out of 10, I get confirmation on whatever it is that I'm praying for or discerning on. So I'm just gonna tell you that right there. What else? I think that's the only information I want to talk about right now. Of course, you guys know that I deal with a lot of different stuff. So these are my only topics for today. I'm just gonna try to make some more content. Probably, probably this weekend. I'm gonna try to make some more content, and then if I don't, just make sure you subscribe and turn your notification on so you can get notified when we do go live. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I know some of the stuff that I talk about on my channel, it's not really typical of people to talk about it. It's kind of taboo, but content is content. And if you don't give anybody content to create, they ain't gonna give you. If you don't give anybody content to create with, there would be no content. But if you want to continue to give me content to create on, whatever. I'm not telling you either way. I'm just gonna say this: be mindful, choose wisely, because everything you're doing might be you might be reminded of it at some point in time in your life. Um, Other than that, and some that let me just clarify what I mean legally. Sometime point in your life. All right. So with that being said, I think I have given you guys enough content for the day on this topic. And what I will do is I will go ahead and try to see what other content I want to come up with today and post it. If I don't post it, just be on the lookout. Turn your notifications on, subscribe so you can get more content and be notified whenever we go live. Again, thank you guys for tuning in and listening to the conversation on Tech Money Diaries, where we talk about real tech, real money, and real life. And this is just one of these real life episodes where you find out some of the things that I deal with just navigating my day to day life, period. And if there's not any other comments, or if you don't have any other questions, if you do, put the comments in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to them. You guys have a great rest of your day. Happy Juneteenth and happy Friday. I will see you all in the next video.